Hello students, good morning, and I'm coming back after a few days of break, and I hope you have not forgotten about the topic that we were discussing with. We're talking about the different sectors of credit. We said about three sources or three sectors. One is formal sector, that is bank. Another one is informal sector, that is private money lenders. And the third sector is cooperative sector, where a group is formed and they pool an amount of money in different directions towards its members. So the members belonging to that group will be able to borrow money from that group, from that cooperative society, and return back when it is time. That is the three sources. Today we shall see about these two sectors, formal sector and informal sector. You can take your page number 49 and you will find there a graph given there. So you can see different family, different households, how much are they depending on formal sector, that is on the bank, and how much they are depending on informal sector. We can see the percentage. So different households are given there, poor households, rich households, all that is mentioned there. You can see nicely the chart and see the difference. And we were already talking about the importance of taking loan from formal sector, that is from the bank, because bank charge very less interest. The other class we saw the bank is charging annual interest 5%, while the private money lender is charging annual percentage 60%. That means you have to return back the money with a 60% interest. That means more than half of it should be given back again. Suppose if you take 1 lakh rupees, when you give back after 1 year from the private money lender, you have to give 1,60,000. So 60,000 extra you have to give. That is at interest. But if you are taking from the bank, we need to give only 1,05,000. See the difference? So bank gives loan with low interest, so that it will not be a very heavy burden on the farmer. But if loan is taken from the private money lender, then the farmer, especially who is a small farmer, who does not have much income from his farm, he will be struggling to repay back such a big huge amount. So he will be in permanently debt. So he will not be able to pay back this year, and he will be taking more loan for next year. Again his loan will increase. So slowly his debt will increase and his life will be in a permanent debt, and he will never be able to sleep in peace, because that fear that he has to give back this much money, or they may attack him, or they may take away his property, his house. So all that fear is there in him. Therefore he will never be able to live in peace if he takes money from the money lender. On the other hand, if he take from the bank, then he knows interest is this much, and he will be able to somehow pay back, because it is not very high. If his crops and harvest is normal, certainly he will not find it difficult to pay back. He will find it easy. But he has to make sure that it is done in proper way. Then it will be very easy for him. It will not be a trouble. It will not be a difficult task for him. But very often people go to the money lender for taking the money, because the process are quite different. Taking loan from the bank is quite difficult, because people who are illiterate, people who are ignorant, they do not know the bank formalities. They do not know how to read the conditions that are written in the bank. They have to fill up the forms. They may not know how to even write their names. So when they think about all these difficulties, they think it is better to go to the money lender and take the money, because he does not ask for any form fill up. He does not ask for any details and so on. He is ready to give simply the money, and he said this much you have to pay back the interest, only that much. So it is very easy to get the money from the money lender, but from the bank it is very difficult. That makes most of the people to go to the money lender. We can see in your that graph that I showed you, the poor households, only 15% of the poor household people are going to the bank for taking loan. Only 15%. The rest 85% are going to the money lender. Can you imagine? They are the poor households, and they 85% of them are taking loan from the private money lender. So you can imagine what will be their situation. They will never be able to improve their financial conditions. Even if they work hard, even if they struggle hard and produce a good harvest, they have to pay back so much money back to the private money lender with interest. So after the harvest, nothing will be there for their family. They'll continue to be poor, because all that they got the profit will have to go to the money lender. And in case their harvest is poor, then again they are in trouble. They will not be able to give back at all. The credit will remain, and the interest will go on increasing and increasing, and after 2 years the interest will be much more higher. So the poor households, as I said, 85% of them are going to this private money lender, mainly because they have no other way to go. They have no other source. There may be nobody to help them to go to the bank. There may be nobody to help them or introduce them to the bank authority. So if simply a stranger goes to the bank and asks for a loan, the bank will not give, because bank does not know this fellow, and therefore they are not having access to the bank. And another reason why they do not go to the bank is bank needs a lot of collateral, that is security. Either these families, they have to surrender their land document or house document, something valuable things they have to surrender in the bank as a security. But these poor households, they may have very little land, or they may have a very small house, and with that small land and small house, the bank will not be able to give very high amount of land, high amount of loan. And therefore the poor farmers, they are not able to get access to the bank. The bank is not really in a position to help them. Bank is following their rules and regulations. They are not ready to look at this poor person, whether he is a poor or not, whether he deserves helps or not. They are not much worried about that. They are only worried about their rules and regulations. It is written in their book how they should give loan. They'll follow their regulation, they'll follow their order, and so on. And in the second group, we will find 47% are taking loan from the bank. They are household with a few assets. So they are little more rich families. They have got assets. They have got good house. They have got big field and so on. So 47% of them, almost half of them, are able to go to the bank and take loan, because they have got property. They can surrender that property document in the bank, and bank will give them loan. And they may be more educated as well, and therefore they know how to read the conditions of the bank. They know what is explained by the bank and so on. So they are not ignorant, they are not illiterate. They are able to understand better and able to do well. So that way they are able to get the benefit from the bank. And still 53 of them are going to the private money lender. So 47 of them are going to the bank, and 53 of them are going to the private money lender. Then see another group, well-off households. That means they are quite rich enough. This group of household, this group of people, they are quite rich enough. So 72% of them are going to the bank for their needs. When they need money, they go to the bank. 72% of them. And the rest 28% they go to the money lender. So as we see, these people are still more well off. They are quite rich enough. They may be taking loan not for farming, but they may be doing business, they may be running industry and so on. So for that they take loan, and they are able to give some security to the bank by some surrendering their land document or house document and so on. Since they are quite rich, they will have very big land, and so bank is able to give them big loan. So the more big security or valuable security that we give to the bank, the more bank will be able to give loan, the higher will be the loan bank is giving. Then we come to the fourth group, a rich household. So they are very rich, and we see 90% of the rich people are taking loan from the bank. 90%, and only just 10% of them are going to the money lenders. So rich people, they are all very rich, and they can give very big security in the bank, and the bank will be able to give them big loan, and therefore they can do business, they can do factories, industry, they can do so many things, and they can become rich and rich. So they can take huge amount of loan from the bank by giving them a very valuable security, and that will be accepted by the bank, and the bank will give them the required loan. And as we look in this chart from here to this side, when we see, what do we see? Who are depending on the private money lenders? The poor people. So the poor people are going to the money lenders, and the richest people are going to the bank. See the difference? Actually, the richest people will be able to give interest because they are rich enough, but they are going to the bank and getting loan very cheaply with a very low interest, and therefore they get a lot of profit because they do business, they do industry, they run factories, and all the profit, they get a lot of profit, and they know interest enough to give very little, and so they'll have a lot of profit. But these poor people, they are just hand to mouth. They are working hard from morning till evening, and they are waiting for this harvest. And after the harvest, sometimes harvest may be failed, sometimes harvest may be just normal, sometimes it may be good. But after paying this interest, because they are taking money from the money lenders, private money lenders, after paying that high interest, very little will be left or nothing will be left. So if these poor people are also able to take loan from the bank, then they also will be able to improve their financial conditions, because the bank interest rate is very low. They don't have to give too much to the bank. The interest rate is low, and they are safe. The extra money they can save, and they can improve their financial conditions. So the poor people are not helped by the bank. They are helped by the money lenders, private money lenders, and they go on exploiting these poor people. These poor people go on taking loan from the money lenders, and they at the end remain where they are. They are not able to improve their financial conditions. They are not able to do anything in their life. They go on working, and they remain in the same position. But the rich people, they become richer and richer because they are able to get loan, cheap loan from the bank. So if these poor people are also able to get loan from the bank, then they also can improve. So there should be a system to help these poor people, to help them to improve, to help them to come up in their life, or to get help from the bank and so on. That is very much necessary. So it is the responsibility of the government to make sure that cheap loans are available for the poor farmers as well. Not only to the rich people, we know there are so many rich industrialists like Kingfisher, the Ambani, Adani, all these rich business people. They take so much a loan from the bank, and at the end they run away from the country, and they don't pay back even the capital that they have taken. And the government is losing so much. The banks are losing so much, but there is no much action is taken against them, and they try to defend themselves. They try to escape, and so on. And the poor person, when they are unable to pay back the loan, the bank is very strict with them, very hard on them, and try to raid their house, try to take away their property, and so on. So in this country, we need to develop a policy that will help the poor as well. Not only helping the rich people, but also helping the poor people. Then only our economy can come up. Otherwise, the poor will always remain in the lower level, and the rich will go higher and higher. So always that poor people will be there in our country. So in order to avoid that, what we need is, we need to make a certain policy which will help the poor people more, especially the banks, the cooperative society. They all should come forward to make their policy more easy in order to help the poor people. So their intention should not be to make maximum profit for themselves or to keep themselves safe, but they should make sure that they are here to help the poor people, to improve the economy of the country. So unless the poor people are helped, unless the poor people are improved, the economy of the country is never going to improve. It will remain always the same. So we need to make sure that banks, the cooperative society, they all should increase their lending in the rural areas where the farmers are working. So they should make sure more loans are available for the farmers. Then only we can really help them to improve. If the banks are not giving them, then these poor people have no other choice. They'll continue to go to the money lender, and the money lender will exploit them and take away all their profit and make them continue to remain poor, and so on. So in order to avoid that, the banks and the cooperative society, that is the formal sources, should come forward to help the poor. And another thing is that the formal sector loans need to expand, that it should be available for all. Very often the banks, they demand for so many things, and the poor people are not able to provide or produce those things. They are very poor, and so they are not able to get loan from the bank, and so on. So banks should make sure that these loans are available to everyone, not only to rich people alone, but it is available for all. So they have to make sure it is expanded towards everyone, every person in the society, all those who are in need of loan, it is available. So they have to make sure. So it is the responsibility of the bank to make such policies. If they are interested in developing or improving the economy of the country, then it is their responsibility to make sure that these things are made available. Money that is not only kept for the rich but also for the poor, so that the number of poor people in our country will come down. And at present, as we see in the graph, it is the rich people who are able to make themselves beneficiary of the bank service by receiving loan from the bank, and the poor people are not much able to get it. So what we can do is that the credit should be distributed equally. So when the rich people, the big business people, they are able to take crores and crores from the bank and at the end cheat the bank and escape, the poor farmer, they may be taking only 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, and bank is not willing to give them because they are poor, or they don't have the enough security, and so on. So such kind of attitude should be changed, and banks should be willing to give to the poor farmers loan without much high security, without much collaterals. Then only these poor people also will be confident in coming forward to receive the help, and they will be able to work hard, and they'll be able to improve financially in their life, and as a result our country itself will be improving. So that is what we need to see, that is what we want to see in our country. So the government needs to make proper policies, and also the banks and the corporate societies also need to think about proper policies in order to help the poor people. And if they implement these things, then we can surely say our country will be progressing. So in the future, some of you will be becoming bank officers, will be becoming presidents or secretaries of the cooperative societies, and so remember that time about the poor people of your country, of your society. So try to help them. Everybody is eager to help rich people, influential people, but there is very few people coming forward to help the poor people. So I hope you all will be aware about the struggling class or the poor class of the society. So you'll be able to help them in whatever way possible, and they will be able to benefit from your generosity, and they'll be able to become rich. They will be able to improve the financial situations in their life. So let us wind up for today. In the next class we shall see again about how the cooperative sector can come forward to help the poor people. So today we were seeing how the bank can help and how bank should help. In the next class we will see about another topic. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye.